Here we go! The episode begins with someone dumping a bunch of dead birds on the ground. Green-eyed guy looks at the birds and is like, yep, those birds are dead all right. The gate opens and green-eyed guy's sister rides in. We cut inside and green-eyed guy is bragging about how he took Winterfell. What? The last time I saw green-eyed guy, he was fingering his sister on a horse and trying to get his dad to be allies with sexy jawline guy. But now he backstabbed sexy jawline guy and took his castle. Then green-eyed guy says that he killed Weird Raven Kid and the youngest Stark child, which definitely isn't true. Well, I guess he could have killed the youngest Stark. I don't think I've seen him since the pilot. Green-eyed guy's sister yells at him for killing the Stark boys. Then she tells him that she's bringing him home. Green-eyed guy refuses and says that he wants to stay in Winterfell. Green-eyed guy's sister tells a nice story about when they were babies growing up together, and tells green-eyed guy not to die so far from the sea. So this lady who has vivid memories of green-eyed guy as a child, even as a baby, was just fine with him fingering her like a few episodes ago. I will never understand why she did that. She is just a big weirdo, I guess. But it is kind of nice that she seems to care so much about green-eyed guy. Also, sexy jawline guy is gonna be so mad when he finds out that green-eyed guy stole his castle. Sexy jawline guy is probably gonna put green-eyed guy in jail, and that is where Angry Eyes rescues him from in season 3. We cut to Savage Lady bringing Bastard King to a man wearing bones as clothes. It looks like Savage Lady somehow took Bastard King prisoner at some point, just like all great love stories start. Bone Clothes says that he doesn't need another crow, so crow must mean a person in the Night's Watch. Bone Clothes tells his men to kill Bastard King, but Savage Lady says that Bastard King is Papa Stark's son and that Mance will want him. The only thing I know about this Mance guy is that he takes Bastard King into a tent at some point, and they do stuff in the tent. I'm not saying it's sexual stuff, but it could be sexual stuff. Bone Clothes agrees to let Bastard King live, and Savage Lady tells him that they're even now. Then Bastard King talks to this other crow. Apparently Bastard King walked away from his group and they went looking for him but got ambushed and killed by wildlings. Bastard King must feel so guilty. We cut to sexy jawline guy telling his wife about a girl he's going to marry. Oh, I think it's Filch's daughter. This guy rides up on a horse and tells them that Handsome Man in Armor escaped in the night, and sexy jawline guy looks pissed. We cut to Mama Stark telling sexy jawline guy that she freed Handsome Man in Armor for her daughters. In season 2, Rat Assistant offered to free red-haired queen and young sad girl in exchange for Handsome Man in Armor, so Mama Stark must have taken the deal behind sexy jawline guy's back. Unfortunately, I don't think Rat Assistant holds up his end of the bargain. Sexy jawline guy yells at Mama Stark, and then this dude with an afro for a beard yells at her too. Sexy jawline guy tells this guy to send 40 men after Handsome Man in Armor with their fastest horses. I mean, I understand why Mama Stark let Handsome Man in Armor go, but at the same time, you can't trust Rat Assistant. That's rule number 1. Also, Handsome Man in Armor killed her husband. Why would she be so willing to let him go? You can't let that guy run around. He's gonna kill another one of your family members. But I get it. She wants to see her kids. I'm not mad at Mom Stark, I'm just disappointed. We cut to Handsome Man in Armor with Tall Woman. I guess she's escorting him back home. Handsome Man in Armor tries talking to Tall Woman, but she just silently shoves him towards a canoe. He keeps bugging her and she finally tells him that she hates him. Then Handsome Man in Armor tells Tall Woman that he would beat her in a fair fight. These two are acting like when kindergartners have a crush on each other. He says that there are only 3 men in the whole world who might have a chance against him in a fight. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's Shaq, the Hound, and Dreamy Guy. Also, is Handsome Man in Armor a good fighter before he loses his hand? Or is he all talk? Because I don't think I've ever seen him fight anybody. Finally, Tall Woman gets Handsome Man in Armor into the canoe and they ride away. We cut to young sad girl pouring drinks for short-haired queen's dad and his military council. Apparently Son of Fire is on his way to attack the Lannisters, and sexy jawline guy is also on his way. In episode 4 of this season, Short King said that he was also marching his men towards King's Landing. How do the Lannisters survive 3 armies attacking them? Oh, but you know what? At the end of episode 4, Woman with Red Hair gives birth to a demon that I'm pretty sure kills Short King and his whole army. So they're not a threat anymore. These guys know that Green-Eyed Guy took Winterfell and they're happy about it. They're trying to plan a counterattack on sexy jawline guy's army, and Short-Haired Queen's dad decides they'll ride at nightfall. Then Short-Haired Queen's dad tells Fake Shaq to find the Brotherhood and kill them, and bring young sad girl with him. Oh, so this is how young sad girl ends up with the Brotherhood in season 3. We cut outside and that guy that young sad girl kills in season 4 is saying nasty stuff to her. That makes his death so much sweeter now that I've seen that. Baker Boy is talking to Blacksmith about baking when young sad girl walks up and asks where third person guy is. She's probably gonna get him to try to kill Short-Haired Queen's dad. Unfortunately, he's not around right now, and young sad girl has to watch Short-Haired Queen's dad leave to fight sexy jawline guy. How do ravens work in this show? Are they like owls in Harry Potter? Because if they are, young sad girl should send a raven to sexy jawline guy and tell him that short-haired queen's dad is on his way to kill him. We cut to Bastard King talking to that other crow. He's telling Bastard King to be a spy in the wildlings army. Bastard King tells him they'll never trust him, and then this guy says they will if he does what needs to be done. And then he starts yelling at Bastard King and shoves him. Boneclothes tells him not to kill Bastard King, and then Savage Lady smiles at Bastard King. I think that other crow wants Bastard King to kill him, or maybe he wants Savage Lady and Bastard King to hook up. Either way, it seems like Savage Lady is starting to develop a little bit of a crush on Bastard King. We cut to Peter Dinklage and Greasy Mullet Guy squabbling like an old married couple. Peter Dinklage is trying to plan a defense against Son of Fire, and Greasy Mullet Guy doesn't seem to be taking it seriously. Bald Guy walks in and they discuss the measures they need to take to keep people safe while the castle is under siege. Greasy Mullet Guy talks like he's been in a castle while under siege before. I wonder what his backstory is. I definitely feel like he's smarter than he lets on. Peter Dinklage looks at a map and says that Son of Fire will attack the Mud Gate when he arrives. That sounds pretty smart. Why would they have a gate made of mud protecting the castle? King's Landing needs renovations. Bald Guy asks what they plan on doing when Son of Fire arrives, since apparently there's only a small army defending King's Landing, and Peter Dinklage just says, pig shit. What, are you just gonna throw poop at a bunch of guys carrying swords? Take it from a guy who knows, that's not gonna work, it's just gonna make them angrier. Also, why is there such a small army protecting King's Landing, and why do they have so much pig poop lying around? What's happening with King's Landing? We cut to Heavyset Guy digging in the snow and his teeth are gross. He must not be brushing them, which means that he must have been out here camping for the last couple of weeks. I could be a detective. Dumb Guy says that Bastard King is probably dead, and Heavyset Guy refuses to believe it. Seriously though, did Heavyset Guy just eat a sleeve of Oreos or something? As Dumb Guy is digging, he hits something hard. He gets down and sees a stone with inscriptions on it. Heavyset Guy says the first men made the inscriptions, and Dumb Guy pushes the stone over and pulls something out from beneath it. It's a cloak, and inside it is a bunch of dragon glass. This is where Heavyset Guy gets his dragon glass we see in season 3. Man, season 6 episode 10 really spoiled me. I'm halfway through this episode and I'm like falling asleep. We cut to young sad girl carrying some buckets. And this guy walks by and knocks them over and slaps young sad girl on the back of the head. One day she will wear his face as a mask. Third person guy shows up and he says he owes young sad girl a person to kill. She wants him to kill short-haired queen's dad, but he says it might take a while. He tells her to give him a new person to kill, and she tells him to kill himself. For some reason he's honor bound to kill whoever young sad girl says, so he asks her to unname him. She says that she will if he helps her and her friends escape. He agrees and tells her to walk through the gate at midnight. Are we about to see third person guy put on a mask and kill some people? We cut to short-haired queen talking to Peter Dinklage. Short-haired queen is worried because Jeffrey wants to fight in the battle when Son of Fire shows up. She says that his place isn't on the battlefield, and Peter Dinklage says it's not on the throne either. Roasted. Short-haired queen says that bald guy is dangerous because he doesn't have a penis, which in today's society I feel like is the opposite of true. If only more people didn't have penises. Then short-haired queen says that she has his girlfriend, and if Jeffrey gets hurt on the battlefield, then short-haired queen will kill her. Peter Dinklage asks if he can see her, and short-haired queen calls for her to come in. But it's not his girlfriend, it's Cleavage Lady. So short-haired queen got the wrong girl. Peter Dinklage walks over and acts like Cleavage Lady is his girlfriend, and she plays along. Then Peter Dinklage tells short-haired queen that he will hurt her for doing this, and he seems serious. Okay, so does Cleavage Lady know what's going on right now? Why is she protecting Peter Dinklage and his girlfriend? I love Cleavage Lady. I mean, she always gets the crappy end of the stick throughout this entire show, but she's always a really good friend. Also, she's gorgeous. Peter Dinklage rushes into his room and yells for his girlfriend. She walks out and he tells her that she's beautiful. He says they need to be more careful because there are people who want to hurt him, and she says she'll cut off their faces. Is she a faceless man? Then Peter Dinklage professes his love to her and they kiss. We cut to sexy jawline guy talking to Angry Eyes' dad. I don't trust this guy. Angry Eyes is his bastard son, and he affectionately refers to him as my bastard. Angry Eyes is on his way to take Winterfell back from Green-Eyed Guy, and sexy jawline guy wants Green-Eyed Guy to suffer. He doesn't even know yet that Green-Eyed Guy killed his little brother. Sexy jawline guy's wife walks in. These two are gonna hook up right here in this tent and save this boring episode. Sexy jawline guy is upset because of everything going on, and his wife cheers him up. Sexy jawline guy gets her a drink, and she tells him the story of when she was a kid and her brother almost drowned while she was supposed to be looking after him. Okay, not really a great story to set the mood, but we'll see what happens. She goes on to say that a slave saved her brother with CPR, and it made her decide to become a nurse and to never live in a slave city again. Sexy jawline guy's wife is like perfect. She's so nice. She's very pretty. I have a crush on every girl in the show. I haven't really seen her in a lot of episodes, but now that I'm seeing her in this one, I really like her a lot. which can only mean one thing. She's gonna die a really terrible death. Sexy Jawline Guy says he doesn't want to marry Filch's daughter, and his wife says she agrees. And then they kiss, and they immediately start taking off each other's clothes. Everybody on this show has a perfect body. Then they lay down and start banging. This went from 0 to 100 really fast. These two do not mess around. Just imagine, if that slave didn't know CPR, I wouldn't be watching these two beautiful people have sex right now. Thank goodness they just had sex. That was exactly what this episode needed for me to get back on board. I sound like a pervert right now. We cut to young sad girl waiting outside with Baker Boy and Blacksmith. There are guards watching the gate, and young sad girl is trying to convince her friends that they should trust third person guy. Young sad girl gets up and walks, and they follow her. As they get close to the gate, they see that all the guards are dead and propped up to look like they're alive. Third person guy really went to work on these dudes. We cut to Son of Fire and Bastard King's bodyguard on a boat. Son of Fire complains that Chubby King gave a castle to Short King instead of him. Then he tells the story of how he was once holding a castle and they ran out of food, so they ate horses and dogs to stay alive. And then Bastard King's bodyguard showed up with food and saved everybody's life. Son of Fire really seems to respect Bastard King's bodyguard. He tells them that when he becomes king, Bastard King's bodyguard will be his hand. Is this before or after Son of Fire chops off Bastard King's bodyguard's fingers? I really want to see that episode because I have no idea why he would do that. Every other time I've seen these two together, they seem to get along really well. We cut to Jeffrey telling Bald Guy and Peter Dinklage that when Son of Fire shows up, he's going to kill him himself. Jeffrey is the kind of guy who talks a really big game, but gets scared when it's time for action. Like my friend Mike, who once said he could easily eat 100 McNuggets from McDonald's in one sitting. And when I offered to buy him 100 McNuggets so I could watch him fail, he said that he had nothing to prove to me. The offer is still on the table, Mike. I want to see you try to eat 100 McNuggets. You can't do it, there's no way. Peter Dinklage tells Bald Guy that he enjoys being the hand of the king, and he wants to make sure Son of Fire doesn't breach the castle walls so he can keep doing it. Then Bald Guy tells him that he heard word that Legolas Queen is alive in Qarth. He says when her dragons are fully grown, there will be nowhere to hide. It's interesting to see these two talk about Legolas Queen when in season 7 they end up being on her side. And these are two of the smartest guys in the whole show. So if they think that Legolas Queen is gonna win the Game of Thrones, then I'm inclined to agree with them. We cut to Scar Guy telling Legolas Queen that he found a ship and they have to leave Qarth immediately. Legolas Queen says she will not leave without her dragons, but Scar Guy says if they stay in Qarth, they will die. What happened here? Deep Voice vouched for them in season 2, and I thought they'd be safe in Qarth. Did somebody steal her dragons? It turns out yes. Apparently a warlock stole her dragons. Scar Guy says it's too dangerous to go to the warlock's house to get them back, but Legolas Queen tells him that she's immune to fire, so she's not scared. She touches Scar Guy's face and tells him to take her to get the dragons. Well, of course he's gonna take her now. He's in love with her. We cut to Green-Eyed Guy telling this other guy to bury the bodies of Weird Raven Kid and the younger Stark boy. I wonder who Green-Eyed Guy actually killed instead of Weird Raven Kid. He gives this guy money to give to the farmer who I guess burned the bodies. This old guy with chains on him that are not attached to nipple rings walks up to the charred bodies and looks at them. We cut to the angry lady from season 3 and she's telling that old guy that she has a hiding place. And then she asks who the boys are that are burnt and hung at the gate, and the old guy says they must be the farmer's boys. And they were so burnt that Green-Eyed Guy assumed that they were the Stark boys. And then we see Weird Raven Kid with his brother and Groot hiding. And then the episode ends. What? The farmer burned the bodies, right? Why would his own sons be burnt and hung from the castle if he was the one that burnt the bodies? Did he kill and burn his sons to save the Starks? Or maybe his sons were already dead and he just dug them up out of the ground and burned their bodies to trick Green-Eyed Guy. I hope that that is what happened. That episode was fine. It was just okay. It gave me a lot of information on Green-Eyed Guy, which is good, although I still feel like the next time I see him, I'm gonna be confused anyways. I'm so curious to see what Peter Dinklage is gonna do with the pig poop to fight Son of Fire. I really want to see that battle because Jeffrey's totally gonna wimp out. I'll give that episode a 5 out of 10. It was okay, not a ton happened, although I probably am a little spoiled from watching the season 6 finale last week. Let's reach into these boxes and see which episode I'm gonna watch next. Season 5, Episode 2, Season 1, Episode 6, Season 2, ooh, Episode 10, Season 3, Episode 8, and last but not least, Season 5, Episode 6. So those are the options of the episodes that I'm gonna watch. There should be a poll right here, a box. Am I outlining it with my fingers? Probably not. Go ahead and click on that and vote for which episode I should watch next. Here's a graphic showing which episodes I've already seen to help you make your decision. Some of you guys have been really nice to me and have supported me on Patreon, so it's time to do the shoutouts. Honestly, my favorite part of these videos is doing these shoutouts. Ryan Ackerman. I bet you were always first in alphabetical order, like when you were in school and stuff. AC, that's strong. Thank you for the support, Ryan. Sven Nieworth. Sven means, I know what Sven means, young man, I think, in Scandinavian. That's not a language, but Sven means young man, right? So congratulations on your youth. If I might also have that wrong, but thank you, Sven. Kristen Stamper. You know, Stamper, they say that in the old days, somebody's last name was their profession, so your great-great-great-great-grandparents might have been people who just put stamps on things. That's a pretty noble profession. Thank you, Kristen. Gabrielle Knight. Same thing for you, Gabrielle, except your great-great-great-grandparents were knights. So a little bit higher on the totem pole than Kristen's Stamper relatives. But maybe they were friends. Maybe they were star-crossed lovers. I don't know. It sounds like a movie. Thank you, Gabrielle. Brian Rapp. Brian, you spell your name B-R-Y-A-N, and I think that that is the correct spelling of Brian. I know that's a pretty hot take, but I'm standing by it. That's how you should spell Brian. Thank you for the support, Brian. Andre Lopez. Lopez with an S, by the way. L-O-P-E-S, which I think means that you're Portuguese. If I'm wrong about that, I am so sorry for making that generalization, but I'm pretty sure Lopez with a Z is Spanish, like Spain, and Lopez with an S is Portuguese. I could be wrong. I don't know. Look at me. What do I know? Thank you, Andre. Your mom. I really hope that you made this your name on Patreon just so that I would read it on a video. Because it worked. I'm reading it right now. Thank you, your mom. Dawn Rivers. Your name is almost Doc Rivers, which is the name of a basketball coach. I believe he coaches the Clippers right now. So, is that interesting? I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting, but I also like sports. Not a lot of people like sports. That's not true. A lot of people like sports. Do you like sports, Don? Let me know. Give me a call. My number, I'm not going to give you my number. Thank you, Don. Sean Whitesides. I guess it's better than being on the dark side. And there it is. There's the Steve we all know. Thank you, Sean. Sorry for making that stupid joke about your last name. Aaron Simpson. Listen, Aaron, I don't want to make a Simpsons joke because it's so easy. So I won't. I won't make a joke at all. Thank you, Aaron, for the support. If you want to support me on Patreon, there is a link in the description below, and I'm going to put a button at the end of the video that you can click on and you can check out my Patreon page. Also, Merry Christmas, everybody, and happy belated Hanukkah, and happy holidays to everybody. Happy Honda days to everybody. That's the most important holiday, really, if you're in the market for a car. But New Year's is coming up. Please be responsible. Don't drink and drive. If I find out that any of my subscribers got a DUI on New Year's, I'm gonna be mad. Just pick up your phone, call a taxi, call an Uber, call a Lyft, do anything. Please don't drink and drive. That's if you wanna give me a gift, that is all you have to do. Just don't be an idiot and don't drink and drive. Okay, bye!